It was not the ending that Bills fans wanted, but was still a great season for our Buffalo Bills. It's time to hand out team awards for the 2020 NFL season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this award ceremony edition of Billievers Talk, where we take a look at some of the individual performances by the Buffalo Bills during the 2020 NFL season, and we hand out some hardware. Again, thank you guys for joining me. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports updates. Again, I know the offseason is here, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be much, but guys, there is plenty to talk about this offseason. Whether you want to talk about the draft, whether you want to talk about free agency, whether you want to talk about does Josh Allen get that extension, doesn't he? Or whether you want to talk about what the Buffalo Bills have to do to get under that salary cap number. Are there going to be trades? Who's getting released? Plenty to talk about, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. While you're here, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and leave a comment as I hand out these awards. Let me know, do you agree with my thoughts? Do you agree with my picks for these awards? Or would you have picked someone different? And if you would have picked someone different, who would it have been? So again, let's talk about some of these great individual performances by the Buffalo Bills. A great season by the Buffalo Bills, both as a team and as individuals, broke plenty of team records. However, before we get into the positives, I do want to spend one moment talking about some of the negatives. Some of the guys that didn't play up to the level we expected them to. I'm going to be handing out my LVP, my least valuable player award for the Buffalo Bills in the 2020 NFL season. I had 4 candidates for this award. I want to talk about each one of them. My first was on the offensive side of the ball. And listen, this offense was explosive. Again, breaking plenty of team records going on to the AFC Championship game. However, there was one guy that really stood out to me that didn't play up to his potential and who I expected a lot more from coming into this season. And that's star running back, second-year guy, Devin Singletary. I was expecting a lot more out of him, averaging 5.5 yards per carry his rookie season. I was expecting to see a little bit more of that flash that he showed last year. And actually throughout the season, I began to wonder, did it only look like he was faster because he was playing behind Frank Gore last year and not because he's actually a good, fast running back? You had to worry about that. However, the reason why he is not my LVP is because A, he's on a rookie contract, right? So he's cheap, which is something that needs to be talked about when talking about least valuable player, who is not living up to their potential as far as money given to them in their contract, okay? Secondly, when it comes to this running game, you have to blame both the running backs and the offensive line. This offensive line did not do well in run blocking. Now, I won't put any of them up in this category because they did pretty good when it came to defending Josh Allen, right? When it came to blocking for Josh Allen, they did a pretty good job there. But when it came to run blocking, they just didn't have what it took, and maybe that's something we need to work on during the off season, but still don't want to give up on the pass blocking that they did as well. And 3, because listen, Devin Singletary still averaged 4.4 yards per carry, which if you give someone the ball 3 times and they give you 4 yards, that's a first down every single time. So I know we want big plays. I know we wanted him to step up in big moments, and he didn't do that, but still not the least valuable on this team. However, I still would expect Zach Moss to take a bigger role next season, maybe overtake him as a starter, and maybe the Buffalo Bills look for another running back, which leaves Devin Singletary on the outside looking in. But where I really wanted to look, the place that really disappointed me the most was this defensive line. The Buffalo Bills going into the 2020 NFL season had the highest paid defensive line in the NFL. So you would think that consistent pressure for this front four would not be a problem, and yet it was. So the first player I looked at was Trent Murphy. Trent Murphy was a guy going into this season that some people, including myself, wanted to see him off this team. We wanted to see the Buffalo Bills release him and get some more of that salary cap money. Now, we did have some dead cap money, but the Bills were getting some back as well, and I really wanted that. However, there were a lot of Bills fans, and obviously the Bills front office thought better of it and wanted to keep Trent Murphy around. Now, as the season wore on, however, we saw Trent Murphy on the inactive list, list more than we saw him on the 53-man roster. So obviously, he did not show this Buffalo Bills coaching staff that he could play as well as they first expected, or someone outplayed him. However, with his defensive line underperforming, it was hard to believe someone outplayed him to get that spot. So Trent Murphy was in deep consideration. However, since he did not have a full body of work, a full season to give him, then I really didn't feel like he deserved this LVP award. Plus, I thought during that divisional round matchup where he was forced in there due to the injury of Johnson, I thought he played really well, actually. I thought he held his gap integrity pretty good. I thought he didn't fall for the pump fakes against Lamar Jackson, which is tough to do. And I thought he held Lamar Jackson in check, him and Jerry Hughes on the other side. I thought they did a phenomenal job in that game. So for that reason, I did not add Trent Murphy. Another guy I looked at was defensive tackle Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver, just like Devin Singletary, coming into his second season, we expected more out of him, right? We were excited to see what he could do. However, due to the opt-out of Star Lotulelei at the beginning of the season, I feel like both Ed Oliver and Mario Addison took on double teams that they weren't expecting to take on when the season began. And Ed Oliver still got some pressure in the backfield, still had some tackles for loss, still got some sacks on the quarterback. Unlike the guy who wins this award, for me personally, the guy who wins least valuable player is Vernon Butler Jr. Vernon Butler Jr. was signed by the Buffalo Bills during the 2020 offseason. He signed a 2-year, $15 million contract to be a part of the Buffalo Bills, with over $9 million of that being guaranteed. And what did the Buffalo Bills get for all that money? 0 sacks. Last season for the Carolina Panthers, he had 6 sacks at the defensive tackle position. This year, 0. A goose egg by Vernon Butler Jr. Only 18 tackles on the season as well, not going to get it done. Now, when it comes to Vernon Butler, there are some clauses that he's going to probably be gone come the 2021 Buffalo Bills NFL season. I don't see him being a Buffalo Bill next season, but he definitely, to me, for the Buffalo Bills this year, deserves least valuable player. Again, let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with this, and if you disagree, do you think someone else, someone maybe I already mentioned or someone that I didn't mention, deserves this award? But for me, the LVP goes to Vernon Butler Jr. Then we talk about Rookie of the Year, and this was obviously between 2 players in particular. Obviously, you see who I gave it to on the bottom of the screen, Tyler Bass, but you have to give it up to Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis, 4th round draft pick by the Buffalo Bills, had a great season. I'm sure many of you think that he deserves Rookie of the Year for the Buffalo Bills this year. He actually was one of 2 rookies to have, I think it was 4 or more 20-plus yard receptions. I think he led rookies in 20-plus yard receptions this season. So that's impressive, and I'm not saying he did not deserve to be considered for Rookie of the Year for the Buffalo Bills. However, when you talk about breaking team records, that's something that needs to be mentioned. And this guy below me right here, Tyler Bass, he broke a team record for points in a season set by Steve Christie in 1998. Tyler Bass had 141 points. The old record was 140, went 28 of 34 on field goals and 57 of 59 on extra points. He deserves a lot of credit for coming in there and doing a good job as a rookie in Buffalo. Never easy to kick in Buffalo, but as the season wore on, he did a great job. In fact, he broke the playoff record for longest kicked field goal by a rookie when he kicked a 51-yarder against the Baltimore Ravens. So overall, a great season by Tyler Bass. I expect a lot more great things out of Tyler Bass. It's tough to say that your Rookie of the Year was a special teams guy, and I know plenty of you, like I said, will give it to Gabe Davis. But for me, when you break a team record, it deserves to be acknowledged, and that's the guy to me that deserves Rookie of the Year. Moving on, we talk about Defensive Player of the Year, and to me, the guy that I have listed as Defensive Player of the Year deserves a lot more credit than he is given. Listen, you talk about the Pro Bowl, right? You talk about Trey White, you talk about Tremaine Edmonds. They are both worthy candidates of the extinction of Defensive Player of the Year. They both deserve to be in the Pro Bowl. Trey White, second team All-Pro. Great job. He deserves it. And I'm glad that we gave him that contract extension last year. But when you talk about Jordan Poyer, you're talking about a guy who had 124 tackles this season for the Buffalo Bills, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, 5 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, this guy can do it all. The fact that he wasn't in the Pro Bowl, to say he was a snub, is an understatement in my opinion. I think Jordan Poyer, one of the best safeties in the league, and Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, definitely the best 1-2 safety duo in the NFL. I don't know why he didn't get it. I'm pretty sure it's because of the year Xavier Howard had, getting 10 interceptions. And listen, that deserves to be congratulated, but just this guy Jordan Poyer deserved also to be listed as a Pro Bowler. I thought he did a great job this year. Again, 124 tackles, career high for him. I expect more great things from him going into the next seasons. Like I said, if you want to talk about Trey White, you can always talk about Trey White. If you want to talk about Tremaine Edmonds, he got a Pro Bowl selection, but plenty would say he didn't deserve that Pro Bowl selection. But he got there, and to me, he's a great player, young player who's going to only improve. But Jordan Poyer, to me, had the best defensive season out of anyone for the Buffalo Bills. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. Then you go to Offensive Player of the Year, and you have to give that to our quarterback, Josh Allen. Again, you want to talk about records broken this season by the Buffalo Bills. You got to talk about Josh Allen. Broke the team record for single-season touchdowns in the season. Broke the team record for most passing touchdowns in a season. Broke the team record for most passing yards in a season. This guy did it all this year, and he led this team to the AFC Championship game. When you talk about individual performances, it doesn't get much better than Josh Allen. I think that Josh Allen is hands down the Offensive Player of the Year. If you want to talk about some other Buffalo Bills players that deserve this distinction, obviously you can talk about Stephon Diggs, which I'll say his name just in a second. You could talk a little bit about maybe Cole Beasley, who had a great season, almost had over 1,000 yards himself from the slot position. But when you talk about this team, it all runs. The heartbeat of this team is Josh Allen. And to me, he was Offensive Player of the Year. And he could have been MVP, but I didn't want to give the same person 2 awards on this episode of Believers Talk. So my MVP for the season had to be Stephon Diggs. Talk about team record. And if you have these 2 swapped, I can easily believe that. But when you talk about breaking team records, Stephon Diggs, most receptions by a Buffalo Bill in history. Most receiving yards by Buffalo Bill in history. First wide receiver to be a first-team All-Pro in Buffalo Bills history. These are all great things, and we all need to recognize how great Stephon Diggs was. And listen, these 2 guys, Allen, Diggs, they elevated each other's game. Iron, sharpening iron. You talk about 2 great players, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, coming together in the offseason and putting together something special on the field. No Buffalo Bill had ever led the NFL in receptions until this season. No Buffalo Bill had ever led the NFL in receiving yards until this season. Stephon Diggs had a great year, and he's proven that he is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Coming into this year, everyone thought it was a big play, right? Getting Stephon Diggs, we gave up a lot for him, so people were a little concerned, but he definitely made people eat their words if they thought this wasn't a good trade for the Buffalo Bills. Give me Stephon Diggs all day and at least 7 or 8 times on Sunday, because that's how many receptions he averaged every single Sunday. So Stephon Diggs, my MVP. I didn't have time to get the picture up, but I also wanted to give a little bit of credit to Corey Bojorquez. That's right, giving credit to both the kicker and the punter on this show. You're talking about most improved player of the year for a player for the Buffalo Bills. Corey Bojorquez did a great job this year. Some shanks, but remember last season I hated Corey Bojorquez. I wanted a new punter. Still could use a new punter, but I'm not completely unsatisfied with the punter we have. Corey Bojorquez, to me, most improved player for the Buffalo Bills this season. So those are my awards. Those are the awards that I'm giving out. Let me know in the comment section what awards you give out this year to the Buffalo Bills. Mr. Congeniality, give that one to Cole Beasley if you'd like. But those are the awards I have. Again, a great season by our Buffalo Bills that all deserve a boatload of credit for what they've done. It was a fun season, and I look forward to next year where I think my expectations might be Super Bowl or bust. Again, let me know in the comment section what you think. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.